What's up, guys? Welcome to Knockers on the Bottom. I'm your host, J Mill. J Miller, if you like. So let's get into it. So, Cowboys pull out a gutsy win against the Pittsburgh Steelers. I really like what I saw from the Cowboys on that last drive, doing some of the things that they hadn't done throughout the course of the earlier parts of the season, which is when they're down, when they need plays, their quarterback makes plays, their backup players make plays. Lots of people on that drive. We can point to Hunter Lipke. We can point to Jake Ferguson. We can point to CeeDee Lamb on a big block. We can point to Jalen Tolbert having a little bit of an injury. We can point to Dak Prescott playing really not his best game at all, but coming through when the Cowboys needed it the most. That's something interesting to see there because I really have very little faith as a fan watching the end of that game, thinking that Dak Prescott would pull it out when we needed it most. So I did love what I saw on that last drive from the Dallas Cowboys. Some of the things I didn't love was some of the decision making from Dak Prescott. He did make a couple of very bad throws during the course of this game. One was a YOLO ball that he didn't need to make. The Cowboys were up 13-10. Excuse me, real quick. Cowboys were up 13-10, marching the ball down the field, and Dak Prescott just makes a throw that it's inexplicable, it's unexplainable, it's one of those weird throws that you see quarterbacks of all quality make. So Dak Prescott isn't the only one to make that type of throw. I've seen, Joe Burrow make that type of throw. I've seen Josh Allen. I've seen the Ravens quarterback made those types of throws, Lamar Jackson. And at the end of the day, it ends up hurting their team, which it ended up hurting our team. And they actually let the Pittsburgh Steelers back into the game when they were playing a really good defensive game. And offensively, they had control of the game. I don't know what that was necessarily about. I don't know if Dak Prescott thought, hey, I'm trying to be a hero, but he had a throw like that earlier in the game to CeeDee Lamb in the end zone where CeeDee Lamb was double covered and Dak Prescott just threw it up for no reason. It's like he predetermined that he was going to go to CeeDee Lamb in that play no matter what the coverage was, and that he was going to throw a stop route, I guess, to the sideline. I don't know. Sometimes I don't know what Dak is thinking when he puts the ball up. He just puts them up, and the defense goes and get it. So there's a few times this game where Dak Prescott went and just made inexplicable throws to get our team put into bad positions. That throw he made to CeeDee Lamb on the sideline earlier in the game didn't end up costing us any points, but the throw that he made that was the YOLO ball later in the game ended up costing us points. The Steelers go down and score a touchdown. It looks like the Cowboys are about to give away another game, about to lose another game on the strength of Dak Prescott for some reason just wanting to put the ball up. But at the end of the day, he makes the connection to Jalen Tolbert. He makes a drive that we really, really need when we really, really need it. And I swear, I want you guys to go back and watch the tape because CeeDee Lamb has some good blocks on that drive, even though he wasn't necessarily catching the ball. And I know that'll be the story come the morning time. CeeDee Lamb had some awesome blocks. He is truly a do-it-all receiver. A lot of times you'll see our other receivers like Jalen Tolbert in the short screen game or other receivers like Brandon Cooks in a short screen game, and they're not able to sustain blocks. Our tight ends are not able to sustain blocks to get some of the running backs in the screen game on out there. But if you watch the Hunter Lipke screen, you watch some of the other plays early in the game to the running back when the running backs are running the ball, CeeDee Lamb is out there putting his nose in it, putting his hands in it, getting good position, walling his guy off to make sure that the running back is getting extra yards after contact because the running back is getting contact in a hole. Rico Dowdle, who also shout out to Rico, Fast Money Rico with the fast money, doing his thing this game, getting to and through the hole, showing why Ezekiel Elliott should be on the bench. I don't know why Hunter Lipke continues to get looked over in snaps because Hunter Lipke played well tonight again. And like I said, every time you're thinking of putting Zeke in a game, call Hunter Lipke's number because Hunter Lipke should be taking all of those Ezekiel Elliott snaps. Now, to give Zeke some credit tonight, there were a couple of big third downs that he converted on the ground with his legs, with his power, making people miss or running over people, short yardage situations where he made the play and we got the first down. There was a gutsy third down late in the game where the Cowboys needed a third down conversion, and we ran a running play, and it was a toss to the left to the running back, and the running back got the yards needed, even though it wasn't a typical down and distance for a running play. We converted it on the ground. I actually think the Cowboys showed some great things in the running game this tonight. You look at the way Rico Dowdle ran the ball. You look at the way they blocked it up. I personally feel seeing Tyler Smith out there on the edge kind of stabilized the Cowboys' offensive line, after Tyler Guyton, and let's hope he's okay. I'd rather have Tyler Guyton out there. The reason I'd rather have Tyler Guyton out there is because he's a young guy. He needs snaps. He needs to learn. But it was nice to see Tyler Smith and the Cowboys not be afraid to make that shift and bump Tyler Smith out, put TJ Bass in at guard, and let the Cowboys' offensive line continue to go. And I feel like the offensive line played a little bit better once that situation happened. Dak had a lot less pressure. He had more time to throw the ball, but Dak was doing some weird things. So it was nice to see, our guys get out there. There was a nice third down, like I said, to Hunter Lipke, where Tyler Smith got to the outside. He actually didn't block anybody at all. It just seemed like he was going to block somebody. I remember him getting a hand on the corner, but he created an alleyway. And it's some of the things that we have been talking about as far as the offensive line for the Dallas Cowboys and what we need to do to make them successful, right? I talked about getting them out on the edges because when you get them out on the edges, the blocking doesn't have to be perfect, right? The blocking just has to be good enough to give the running back an option. So if the guy is beat to the inside, the running back can go to the outside. If the guy is beat to the outside, the running back can go to the inside. It doesn't have to be a perfectly blocked play. You just have to give him an alleyway. You have to give him a cutback lane. You have to give him somewhere to go with the football. And the Dallas Cowboys did a good job of getting some of their guys out in space and letting their athletes do what they needed to do. But honestly, I'm still a little bit disappointed, even though we won the game, because the Cowboys had plenty of opportunities. We lost the turnover battle 3-0. We didn't turn them over at all, and we turned the ball over 3 times. And we turned the ball over 2 times in the red zone. Dak with the fumble that got recovered by the Steelers, and then Dak with the interception to CeeDee Lamb. And then, honestly, in a drive we were moving the ball, Dak with the interception on the YOLO ball to God knows who. I don't know who was open on that play, but Dak just decided, hey, I'm throwing it up, YOLO. You know what I'm saying? So the Cowboys did shoot themselves in the foot several times. They actually could have made this a more convincing win, and made themselves look a little bit better. But this is our 2014 Dallas Cowboys as we see it at the moment. We also got a few more injuries during the game. Tyler Guyton went down. Marshawn Nealon went down. So add that to the list of all the stuff we've been dealing with so far this season. We have to kind of figure out a way to continue to pick it up. The Detroit Lions are next week. So the Dallas Cowboys are going to have a hell of a matchup, looking at those guys ahead. But, hey, that's for next week. Tonight, we get to celebrate. The Dallas Cowboys got a win. They didn't play well. They played well on defense, honestly. Let's not knock the defense. I actually don't want to put that on the defense. The defense played well. They did their job tonight, especially missing Micah Parsons, especially missing DeMarcus Lawrence. Then you're missing Marshawn Nealon. You're already missing Sam Williams, and they did their job well. They actually looked pretty solid in the run. I'll get to see that a little bit more as I go over the All-22 film and kind of get a chance to break down what they actually did in the running game. But it looked like Mozzie Smith still played well tonight. It looked like Osa Odighizuwa was getting off the ball. He was causing all kinds of trouble in the backfield, one of his better games. Looked like the linebackers are flowing side to side, making tackles. I did like to see Miroslav foul with a nice breakup on the tight end. I wanted a second down play. He came through. He punched the ball out, made sure the tight end couldn't make the catch. that was huge because then it forced a third down for the Steelers. We were able to get off the field. So it was nice to see our linebackers running around making plays. Jordan Lewis was all over the place, including that last play of the game there where he got a little, tangled up, grabbed, held, face mask, whatever you want to call, because if he would have retaliated, of course the ref would have threw some flags on us. So it was nice to see him, keep his composure after getting, kind of mauled on that play and a lot after the fact. It was nice to see him do what he did. Cavante Turpin had several nice catches in this game. He filled in very well for Brandon Cooks, ran some nice routes, showed some speed, got open over the middle of the defense for one of those deep plays, and actually held on to the ball a few times on some other plays. So it's nice to see Cavante Turpin's role growing. I do want to see less of the in and around, less of the reverses. Those don't look to be working too well for us. We got stopped for no gain on one and a loss on the other. So Cowboys need to go ahead and put that in the back of the playbook. Let that shit go for a couple of weeks. Just tuck that under your arm somewhere, Mike McCarthy. He got a lot of flaps. Tuck that under one of them flaps. You know what I'm saying, and just keep that in the bank for a little while. Maybe break that out in like November or December after you haven't showed it for a few weeks. Because right now it's very predictable. It's getting stopped. We need to stop with these in and arounds to the wide receivers. But all in all, I did love that the Cowboys seemed to use a little bit more motion tonight. Their offense wasn't so static. I saw Cavante Turpin on a couple orbit motions. I saw Jalen Tolbert on some orbit motions. And it wasn't necessarily to throw the ball to them. Sometimes they use that orbit motion just to kind of fool the defense, get them to shift a little bit, and open up some space for some of the other players. So they kind of dug into their bag a little bit. Their offense looked a little bit better today. Still, like I said, if Dak Prescott has less turnovers, I believe the Cowboys put maybe one more field goal and maybe one more touchdown on the Steelers. And now we're talking about a 30-17 game instead of a 20-17 game. But one of the things I will say are wins are hard to come by in the NFL. So you'll take them any way you can get them, even if they don't look great. These are one of the things that the coaches love the most, right? A win that you get, but it looks kind of sloppy, and you need to go back, watch the tape, correct a lot of things, and then get back to work for the team you're going to face the next week. These are what coaches love. We got to win, but we have a lot of stuff to work on. This is the way that coaches love it the best because what you really want to do is make sure your team is hitting your stride around December and January. You don't want your team necessarily hitting their stride in November and October. And trust me, the Cowboys are not. I'll say it again. The Cowboys are not hitting their stride right now. But nice to see them get a win tonight. Nice to see them play a tough, hard-nosed football team, a physical football team, a team that wants to punch you in the mouth, and them not fold their tents and decide to go home because it would have been easy for the Cowboys to do this. They had a lot of built-in excuses with the injuries on the team. They had a lot of built-in excuses with the injuries that came in throughout the game. But they continue to stand, they continue to fight, and at least that gives me some hope that, hey, as a Cowboys fan, because you guys are here because you're Cowboys fans too, that we're going to get to see at least a same or similar amount of wins as we're going to get to losses this year. We're not going to get a, 5-12 Cowboys team. We're going to get more of a 9-8, which I predicted at the beginning of the season, maybe an 8-9, 7-10. But we're going to get a fair amount of Cowboys wins. There are going to be some teams that are not supposed to beat. They're going to lose to some teams that they're not supposed to lose to, i.e. the Saints. But this Pittsburgh Steelers team is a team that finds a way to win games that they're not supposed to win. So, like I said, nice to see the Cowboys go out there and do what they were supposed to do tonight. As I get a chance to look at this game a little bit more, I'll come back to you in the coming days and kind of break down my star up, star down, some of the players that played better than we thought, some of the players that played worse than we thought. But just on my initial watch, loved Overshown, loved Jalen Tolbert, loved Tyler Smith once he moved out to left tackle, loved Cooper Beebe, Definitely loved Rico Dowdle. So some of those guys did a lot of great things. We'll see what happens with the injury to Tyler Guyton. We'll see what happens to the injury to Marshawn Nealon. Fingers crossed that it's not that serious and we get those guys back pretty quickly. And we'll see what happens. I know during the game they did say Tyler Guyton was back on the sideline, but he had his knee heavily wrapped and he had his helmet, but he just wasn't back in the game. So hopefully it's something that doesn't keep him out long. Maybe he misses one game against the Detroit Lions, then the bye week, then he's back against the 49ers. And at the same time, Micah Parsons will be back. Marshawn Nealon did go off in a cart, so maybe that's a little bit more serious. Maybe it was a little bit more precautionary. Hopefully we get a little bit more news on that in the coming days and see where he ends up. Because before he went out, he was actually doing his thing a little bit. So it was nice to see him playing well, but then all of a sudden he went out with the knee injury, and it was like, oh man, damn, not Nealon, bro. Yeah, the Cowboys are getting snake bit at certain positions right now. It looks like the positions are edge and cornerback. That's where they're snake bit. But thank you guys for tuning in. Just wanted to give you a little post game breakdown. Let's go Cowboys. It's going to be a nice victory Monday. We all going to be feeling good, going to work, talking shit. But thank you guys for tuning in. Hit me up on Twitter. My name is Jay Miller, IYL, just Jay Miller if you like. You can also hit me up in the comments below. You can also hit me up via email. That's knockersonthebottom@outlook.com. Again, knockersonthebottom@outlook.com. You can also hit me up on knockersonthebottom@gmail.com. Again, knockersonthebottom@gmail.com. I'll take questions there. I'll take them on Twitter. I'll take them in the comments below. Or if there's anything specifically that you want me to cover, you can hit me up on any one of those platforms, and I'll put it into a mailbag format, or I'll cover whatever you want me to cover, make it a regular segment. But thank you guys for tuning in. Love you guys so much. Until next time, J Mill if you like. This has been Knockers on the Bottom. Peace.